Sam, good morning.
Morning, and good morning to our viewers. I hope you're doing well. It's been a while.
I am doing well under the circumstances, I always say. We must make the most of the circumstances, no matter what. But I see you're growing a bit of a stub. Is it the politics? Is it the work? Is it running around, or the economy that is?
It's a combination of.
It's a combination of.
My wife doesn't like the stub because
she doesn't like it.
She says that because the stub is all grey, and once it grows, she says that then it shows that I'm aging too fast, and so she doesn't like it.
But you're not getting any younger. We are all getting.
But she doesn't want that one. She wants to keep. She says that I look young and nice without the stub. So we cry wako pass about me. She's watching this morning. She's going to tell me to.
Well, I'm going to lend my support to her saying that she's actually right.
And so
this fits you. It's not bad, but you know.
I mean, I grew the beard for a while, and it was all grey, and I said maybe grey hair is a sign of being the MP for Ningo Pram Pram, if you understand what I mean.
Well,
you know, MPs for Ningo Pram Pram carry grey, either on the hair or in the beard.
You remind me of E.T. May his soul rest in peace.
Yeah.
But there's something I'm just starting on a lighter note. There's something I've noticed about leadership and sometimes the toll it takes on people. Do you remember Obama when he took office? I mean, a black head of hair and everything. Within a short period, Charlie, the man go grey. Like,
I mean,
he had all these tufts of. And then former President Mahama,
the same thing.
I was actually surprised because when I saw that it was within a certain period, and I was like, hey, what's going on?
Unfortunately, you can't see Honorado because he's completely bald.
Please, but this table you are shaking.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying you would have seen the same with him, but he's bald. He doesn't even have hair to show.
President Kufuor, I'm just trying to think about whether I don't think I haven't
really seen him with grey.
Former President Kufuor.
Yeah, but I'm sure we didn't see the grey because of Yomo. Oh yes. Look, Chief, you can't sit in that job.
Sam George.
You can't sit in that job and not grey. So I'm pretty confident that because I, like you pointed, I don't remember seeing President Kufuor with grey hair.
I don't recall. Yeah. It's after the presidency and many years.
But I'm sure if we didn't see grey,
I don't know about the Yomo though. But I have seen. Now that you talk about Yomo, I have seen former under the NDC and under the MPP. I've seen some of your aging members. In fact, sometimes it's so obvious you can actually see. You interview them, you can see the mask, and you're like,
why are you fighting?
What's going on?
Yeah, but you see, when you are entrusted with certain positions, it's not just political. The pressure it comes with takes a toll, and
it's real.
And you know, for me, I play football, and in the time it takes me to recover after every game now,
it's increasing.
Yes, I can tell that. You know, when I celebrate a birthday, I say I have added 1 year, but I have aged 5. You get it? So
the body is not reacting the same way.
Oh no! It's like when you get inspired for politics, it's like your age, you become dog years. You know, they say 1 year for dogs, 12 years or something. Human years, because the sheer pressure you have to deal with. But I mean, it's what it is, and we choose to do this, and we have to deal with it. But that's the more reason why we need to take our health very seriously. And make sure that we have regular checkups, and not just for us, everybody. You need to check up regularly. I'm not a fan of hospitals, but my wife has insisted, Charlie, you need to get yourself checked at the beginning of the year, mid-year, you know, just to be sure that everything is intact. You know, recently we lost a member of Parliament, and Honorable Baswa. May his soul rest in peace. And I mean, it was stress related. You know, he had a bit of complication, and that's the time Parliament was sitting till almost midnight. So we had sat till midnight the previous day. He gets home, goes to bed, and doesn't wake up. You know, and it was clearly stress. You know, so I mean, we need to manage this thing, and the sedentary nature, especially for members of Parliament. You go sit in the Parliament, in the chamber, for hours on end. You know, and we all just need to take care of ourselves. I mean. And as Ghanaian people, and I've been talking about it, especially with this dialysis thing.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm saying that when you look at people reporting with kidney failures now, it's young people. It's more and more younger people.
Yeah.
And it's because and look, I'm going to say something.
It's the things we are eating.
I'm going to say something that Ghanaian youth would not be very happy about, but we're very irresponsible when it comes to our healthcare and our life choices. The people who have developed kidney challenges by no fault of theirs, but a majority of the young people reporting with these things is just horrible, irresponsible life choices. They are smoking like locomotive engines. They've dumped cigarettes and have jumped on that killer called shisha. And it is killing. You drive around Accra, around East Legon, and you see young people putting off steam like locomotive engines, all in the name of fashion. They flavored death for you in pineapple and whatever, and watermelon, and you are licking death. I mean, we're not eating well. Alcohol. We're a country that has, for a country of just 33 million people, we have over almost 100 different types of bitters. I mean, all kinds of concoction in the names of aphrodisiacs. I mean, it's like we're a sex crazy generation that needs to do anything and everything just to prove a point. We're drinking the wrong things, eating the wrong things, and smoking our lungs into oblivion. I mean, we need to check our life choices as a country. It's a problem. It's a pandemic. You know the way the US has declared the opioid crisis as a pandemic? Yeah. We need to look at what's
even
going on
obesity in
the
US, which has also
sugar addiction.
But is it not also because for some youth, and we get to interact with a lot of them, they feel they suffer from despondency, depression. I'll tell you for a fact that while we don't have the statistics, a lot of Ghanaian youth are depressed.
No, absolutely.
And
absolutely.
It's on the back of the failures sometimes, or most of the time, of the misleadership we suffer. The NDC and the MPP, you've been in power, but young people across the board feel nothing is going for them. Look, there are people, go to Abelenkpe, around a certain, I don't want to mention the name, close to the fire service. You see people queued there every day, Opesoko, Canada. You see pregnant women with another baby at the back in the queue. It tells you that something is not happening. And sometimes, you know, when someone has nothing to lose, they act as though, I mean, there were indeed nothing to lose.
Yeah, I mean, I agree 100% with you that there's been a certain failure of leadership across the board with how we've treated the young people of our country, even worse so under the last 7 years because of the kinds of promises that were told to them. But you see, I keep saying to the young people of this country, our destiny is ours to shape. And so you can't say on the back of despondency, in this same climate, the young people who are breaking the mold and making something out of their lives. They're young people. So it comes back to what decisions you choose to make and how much of a fighting spirit you have, okay? People say, oh, Sam George, it's easy for you to say it because you are in politics. Well, I didn't get into politics on a silver platter. When I chose to come in there, I fought against a giant of the game. It's the same thing as someone who's trying to start a business. Nobody got it on a silver platter. And so it comes back. You could easily have said, why? There are several young people who've tried and failed at what they've done in politics. So it comes back to the decisions you make and the amount of effort you're willing to put in. It's not important. Yes, I agree that times are tough. I agree that the situation is dire. But out of these ruins we can raise phoenixes. And for me, it comes back to the decisions we make. And the fact that the times are tough is not an excuse for you to kill yourself. It's not an excuse for you to engage in dangerous lifestyle behavior. I mean, at the end of the day, when you lose your life, have you solved the problem? Yeah. No, I mean...
You have a point. We'll get into the hard matters shortly, but I couldn't help but recall, and I had actually told him, his name has escaped me, maybe my producer will help me. He is gunning for your seat from the other side, the MPP side. I've just forgotten his name. And he was here in the studio some weeks back, and John Akwete Manche. Are you familiar with him?
I think I saw his poster for the first time 2 days ago.
Okay, yeah. He was in the studio here with me a few days ago, and I said that, one of these days we had to arrange for both of you to sit in the studio and elaborate on what you have for the people of Ningo Prampram. I want to ask you about
when he becomes
what is shaping up.
When and if he becomes candidate, we can have that conversation.
Yes. How is Ningo Prampram shaping up? Especially as when he came here, he mentioned how much of an indigent he was of the area, schools, roads, and all of that. He basically suggested, in a nutshell, that You're the worst thing that has happened to Ningo Pram Pram. How do you react to that?
That's an indictment on his government and his president. You see, I keep saying that when people want to get into office, they need to understand the office they want to occupy. And that's the problem. I'm on record to have said this on Twitter, on social media, in your studios, that people must understand what the role of a member of parliament is. So if you're running and gunning for office and your promise to the people is I'm going to build you roads, I'm going to build you hospitals.
I mean, he spoke of a number of things.
Okay, or build you schools. Clearly that person is a dishonest person who doesn't have what it takes to be a member of parliament and end the title honorable. Because that person is peddling falsehood and deception. Why? As MP, you don't get money to build roads. As MP, you don't get money to build schools or hospitals. So clearly, if he's promising you that those are functions of the district assembly and the executive government, on the 15th of November, the budget for next year is going to be brought. We're going to pass appropriations. The money for building hospitals is going to be given to the Ministry of Health. The money for building markets is going to be given to the Minister for Local Government. The money for building schools will be education. And so roads and highways. It doesn't come to you, the MP. Your job is to lobby. Now, if he's saying, and I agree with him, and I've served notice on a bridge in Ningo Pram Pram, that if the president doesn't work on it and I see him crossing my constituency again, I'll stop his convoy. I will stop the convoy.
Stop the president's convoy.
Absolutely, with my constituents. With my constituents.
The office of the president. For what
when
reason?
the president was campaigning, was he not being stopped on the campaign trail and was he not stopping and campaigning to the people? Have you not seen several times they will tell you that, oh, the president was moving and a crowd came out and they came to say, we love you, Mr. President, or they stopped him and he stopped and addressed them. That one, he was looking for votes, so he stopped there. Now we've given him the votes. Now you say we can't tell him when I have written letters.
I mean, you can tell him, but to stop the convoy.
It is, look, difficult.
Doesn't that border on illegality? Does that not border on illegality?
There is no law against it. The president is not above the people
but
who
if
give him power.
you're impeding his movement, what is that? Why are you impeding him?
Because he needs to see what is going on in Ningo Pram Pram. Look, I'm going to share the videos with your production right now so that they can put it on screen for people to see why I am taking such drastic measures. And it is not as though, look, I have spent the last 6 months literally begging and kissing forgive my Greek, every ass I need to kiss in this country to fix that bridge.
You could use, euphemistic terms.
Every backside.
Thank you.
Kissing every backside I need to kiss. They are waiting for my constituents to die before they fix that bridge. And I think you need to put it, because you see, at times when you speak, people don't appreciate why you are speaking that way. They think that, oh, Sam George just wants to do politics. But look, and I'm sharing this right now with your producer, so that he can
you can guarantee that this is from that bridge.
From Afenya, and you have people who are watching your TV, the show.
So share with my team.
Yes, and when they put it off, if anybody says I am lying, please feel free. But this is the Dowenya, it's on the Dowenya Afenya stretch, and I've sent it to Echo right now. It is an eyesore that we have such a bridge for the last 6 months, and I've been saying to them, and they won't fix it until somebody falls in that bridge or a car somersaults and dies and has an accident, people die. Then you will see the government come there to come and commiserate and shed crocodile tears. For how long must I beg the people we pay a salary with our taxes? The people of Ningo Pram Pram pay taxes. We are begging. Look, we're not even talking about the road now. We're just talking about the bridge. This bridge has deteriorated over the past year. And I'm saying to them, look, fix this bridge. That's all we're asking for. That's all we're asking for. How hard can it be? And I don't know if Echo has received it, but they should please play it. Because you ask yourself, what crime have the people of Ningo Pram Pram committed? I have asked the minister questions. I have written letters. I have gone to his office. So what more can I do?
Here's what we're going to do. Please send those videos to me as well. Share with me. And let's take it from there as we try to play those videos. And so, if you have my number, please share with both of my numbers.
I'll check. But the point I'm making here is this. So when the young man comes here to say that there's been no developments in those spaces, it's his government that has failed. I didn't declare a year of roads. His president. And I hear he says, when I read his profile 2 days ago, they said he says he's a member of the communications team or whatever of the MPP and worked in the IT secretariat. His president declared 2 years of roads. Years of road, twice, part 1 and part 2, like a Kuma Wood movie. What did they do across the country? Where are the roads? Give me a number. Where are the roads? Where are the roads that they claimed? Where are the roads that they claimed they fixed? How do you blame me? Agenda 111. I had been fighting that my district deserves a district hospital. The president announced Agenda 111. I congratulated the president. I said, thank you, because I don't care who builds the hospital or not. I just care that my people have health care, because imagine that a woman has a breech position during her pregnancy. They have to take her to Bato or Tema General Hospital. She will die. And this is happening. So when the president announced Agenda 111, I celebrated it and said, thank you, Mr. President. They promised us I was going to be completed in 2021. We're in 2023. My Agenda 111 is still sitting there. You blame me or the president who we pay taxes to? His president? His party's leader? And he comes to sit here and say that I'm the worst thing. If not for me and the interventions I've made in Ngo Pram Pram, our situation would have been worse. But I'm confident that by God's grace, come 2025, John Mahama will be elected as president. And after he's elected, I will get the opportunity to serve with him. My people will elect me as well. And then they will see what proper governance is. People forget that my 2 terms have all been in opposition. And look, it's not about Sam George saying it. Nanado himself said it. If you didn't vote for him, he doesn't consider you worthy of anything. Because when he went to Mepe, he told the people of Mepe, look, he said this in a campo. Chief, have you been to Mepe during this period? Have you gone to any of the camps?
I haven't.
I have. The situation there is dire. You cannot, look. After,
we've been on the ground.
Yes, I know you've been there. But I was asking, look, Chief, trust me, when you go there and speak to your colleagues who've gone there, when you go there, the footages don't do justice to it. When you get on the ground and see how your fellow human beings are living, you see that what has happened to their livelihood. I always felt like, oh, it was fine until I went there. And since I've gone there, almost every 3 days, I'm arranging some kind of relief material through friends I have and say, look, let's go there and go and help. Because you understand, except you lack a milk of human compassion, you can't go to Mepe and not feel sad. Look, the statistics Child Rights International put out, almost 20,000 children have been affected. Some of them are now being sexually abused. Just yesterday, I asked a friend to say, I said, look, everybody's sending food and mattresses. But when I went there, I realized that there are many young girls.
Yeah.
The menstrual cycle doesn't wait.
Pads and all of
so I said to him, he was going to buy food items, almost 1 million Ghana cedis worth. I said, go and buy sanitary towels and let's send to them. And yesterday we sent it to Okujeto's place. Because, look, Chief, everybody seems to have forgotten that these are human beings. In that condition, President Akufo-Addo went and stood there and was talking about votes. That's what matters to him. And so, if that is his behavior, you think that he will come and do something for Sam George when he knows that Sam George did not vote for him and campaigns against him, and I tell him to his face that I'll keep beating his party.
So let's do this. We have the videos now that you've sent.
Okay.
We're going to share that Afinya Dawenya bridge.
This is a bridge.
That is the bridge that you're looking at there. Wow. So
tell me if
this is a death trap.
Absolutely.
And if you use the stretch at night without...
If you don't know the bridge, look at what is going to happen to you.
Wait, do vehicles still use
Vehicles still use this. School children still walk on this thing. The structure underneath is broken. Underneath is broken. So you have to gauge and
You mean
touch.
the metal?
It's all metal. If you look through the hole, you see many of the metal beams all loosen up.
Okay,
and
so
look,
that's a motorbike using it right now.
Cars still use it. And I've been begging for 6 months.
You know, we had the recent one. Is it the Dolly
yes,
Bridge?
Yes. That's what they're waiting for. They want this one to collapse with people on it before they come and fix it. What crime have we committed?
When was the last time you spoke to the roads minister on this matter?
6 weeks ago.
6 weeks ago.
6 weeks ago. Because I went there 6
How
weeks
long
ago.
have you been speaking to him on this matter?
I started speaking to him in April on this bridge. In April, because it had been deteriorating. We had written letters, filed questions. In April, I went to his office with these videos, and showed it to him. They said, "Oh, Sam, they will come." When I sent this video to his office, he then sent. It was a Wednesday. The following Saturday, he sent the director of bridges to come and look at the bridge for himself. The director of bridges saw it and was shocked, and then immediately called for the bridge engineering unit of the Ghana Highways Authority to come from Koforidua, where they are based.
So we have a director of bridges?
Yes. There is a director of bridges in this country. So he came Saturday morning. I met him there with my team. He looked at it. They were sent to come. Whoever the engineers came. After they came, what they said to me is that they are waiting for approval for funds. The last time I checked, and I checked with Dr. Abbas Awolu, the chief director. I called him. I said, Doc, what is going on? Then they say to me, oh, we've been able to get the plates, the metal plates and the metal beams, but we need money to come and do installation. It's been another 6 weeks. No sign.
So in other words, they finally, after the 6 months or so, they finally procured the metal plates.
That's what they claim. We haven't seen anything.
But they don't have the logistics to come and execute.
That's the story we are being told. That's the story we are being told. But I'm saying to you, God forbid, touch wood, knock on wood, let somebody die in that bridge today. Tomorrow they'll come and fix it. I don't know what human sacrifice they want before they do their job. I mean, look, and so when I speak with the kind of passion I do, it's because of this. And look, as for the road that leads to this, it's an eyesore. I'm not even talking about the road. We are managing the road with our bone shaker. We know you won't do it for us. There's a contractor on it, Cement Ghana. 7 years. 7 years. But fine, just fix the bridge. Because look, this bridge, this road is what links the Tema Akosombo and Tema Aflao roads. So if you were coming from, say, Dwapong and going to Sugakope, when you get to Afienya, all you need to do is take this road and come out at Dowenya and then head for Sugakope. That's if you were coming along the Akosombo road or from Pong. But now, given the state of this road and this bridge, you have to go all the way to Tema. And then come through Tema and Pong. I mean, why?
So, I mean, as we move the conversation forward, Mr. President, I know you can't resolve all the problems in one fell swoop, but this is the plight of the people of Ningo Prampram, the Afienya Dawenya Bridge. It's something that, I mean, it's a disaster in the waiting. Could you please, Your Excellency, get Kwesi Amwakwata, the road minister, to get this fixed in as short a period as possible? We don't need for someone to die before we do something about it. That's our humble plea to you this morning, Mr. President. Thank you. All right, so let's get into it. It's interesting because on Friday in my blunt thoughts, there are some interesting things I'm bringing up. And one of them has to do with roads. In fact, the road I'm going to bring to your attention, but I'll not tell you about it. On Friday, you will see. And then I'll show you some dynamics. It will make you wonder why, as a country, we do what we do. But let's get into, it's good you've shared the videos with us. We've put them out, and I'm sure some attention will come.
I'm most grateful to Multimedia and Joy for supporting us in this.
Again, we have the Akosombo situation, the dam spillage. Well, in a related story, a rainstorm has killed 5 at Bedu. I'm sure you followed that story. It had to do with, activities marking the annual Yam Festival. And unfortunately, they were simply playing football on the pitch. 5 people, young people, gone. You look at the front page of the Daily Graphic, country's youth make future bright. That's according to Olaf Scholz, the German chancellor. And the youth, this is what is happening to them. But when you look at the dam's spillage and everything that has happened, I know we started talking about it. From where you sit, what more can be done? Especially now that the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagman, says there must be a probe into the matter. I've heard the Energy Minister speak on that matter. Where do you sit? And do you think we really should be apportioning blame or healing and moving forward?
Both. You can't heal if you don't hold people responsible for their actions and inactions. I'll state one thing here, and people should not misconstrue what I'm about to say. I am not against the spillage. because the spillage was inevitable. The dam is a work of engineering. It has a limit of water it can take. If we did not spill the dam, there would be no... In fact, when we're talking about the disaster in Mepe, the whole of Akosombo Township, Pong, the whole of Adan, Shai Osudoku, Ningo Prampram, Punkatamanso, Ashaman, Tema, all the way to Adenta and parts of Medina would have been washed into the sea.
Yeah.
Completely.
Literally submerged.
Not submerged, they would have been washed into the sea. There would be none of those cities again. So the dam spillage was inevitable. However, the dam spillage did not happen, was not occasioned overnight. GMET is on record to have been providing the forecast and projections of rainfall pattern to the engineers at VRA.
That has not always been correct. I mean, they'll tell you, for example, that there was a time when there was the forecast.
Yes.
Nothing happened. And
because
they had made the announcements and everything. And then with rainfall, sometimes it's not projected that it will rain that heavily, and then you have...
But if you look at the projections GMET had been making, it was clear that we're having some significant rainfalls upstream. It was clear, okay? And no, there's no weather forecast that's 100% perfect. I mean, you can't be God, okay? You don't make rain. So you can expect a certain level of discordance with the facts. But given what GMET provided, we were clearly seeing the water levels rise. Now, the question you should ask yourself is this. There are several measures that are used to control the water level. One of them is to start firing all the 6 turbines in the dam. Because when you fire all the 6 turbines, each turbine turns on the back of water. So the water held in the reservoir, because most times they fire only 3 turbines.
Right.
They fire only 3 turbines.
In fact, the VRA has been telling us that they were even controlling the spillage, using 2 or 3, because they couldn't.
But most times, what you do,
more of a disaster.
Yeah, what you do is you fire all the 6 turbines, then you use more water in the dam. How soon did they start doing that? 1. 2. You need to ask yourself, when was the last time the VRA dredged downstream the lake?
That has come into question in recent times.
Because you see, you've had a lake that has been the downstream of the lake. You've had a lot of building go on in the Adan area, Akosombo area, and all of this have brought debris and silt into the lake. Has the VRA done any desilting in the last 30 years? You should come and tell us. Because you see, if you desilt the lake, the basin is deeper and is able to hold a lot more water.
The volume of water, right.
But when you allow silt to build up, the slightest spill will break its banks. So first and foremost, the VRA has to come and tell us, 1, when did they start firing all 6 turbines? 2, what contingency measures did they make relative to the rising waters? 3, did they do any dredging of the dam downstream, the lake downstream? And then 4.
Is that the prerogative of the VRA,
Absolutely.
though, in terms of the dredging?
Yes.
And of course, the cost involved.
The lake is It's theirs, yes. The dredging is their responsibility. It's no other person's responsibility. It is VRA's responsibility. They have a badge that does dredging. That's a whole different story.
Not to even talk about, even as we talk about this, lest I forget, the stumps in some areas.
In some of
the dangers they pose to people on canoes and other things.
Look, and when it comes to the badge, the dredging badge, that's a completely different story for another. It's a scandal on its own. We'll come to it. Then they must also tell us, at what time, what calculations did they do to begin the spillage? They started the spillage in September, around the 15th of September. Why did that spilling not start 2 weeks earlier?
Why do you think it should have started 2 weeks earlier?
Because if you had started it earlier, you would have been spilling out in a controlled measure over a longer period of time. What caused this flooding in Mepe?
They have explained that they were interacting with members of the communities. They had to get people in the know and all of that. That takes time, doesn't it?
See, that thing is an insult to all of us. And I don't want to insult them. Else I would have insulted them in Ghana.
Please don't.
Because you see, you can't come and tell me, you go to a community, you've been doing spillage every year, but you've been doing controlled spillage. They do 20,000 gallons per second, which is what they started on the 15th of September. And so if you are doing 20,000 gallons, and the people know that when you normally spill, this is what the effect is, and you knew that you were going to move from 20,000 to 50,000 to 100,000 gallons per second, Chief, second though, did you tell the people that this is what is going to happen? And when you say you engaged the people, did you give them a relocation place? So, Ben, I come to you and say, I'm coming to spill water, so go. Go where? Go where? Did they make any arrangement for them? If you were not going, did you do a forced evacuation? Look, there are clear failures on the part of VRA, on the part of central government. And you know, a bigger failure is our inability to have a response mechanism to this. When VRA decided to move to 100,000 gallons per second, they knew what was going to happen. They knew. They knew that the towns were going to be submerged. What conversation?
Yes, but that was it was a catch-22 situation. It's either that or the dam. The dam is breached.
And that's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying.
You would look at.
And that's what I'm saying.
While we are sensitive to what is happening to our brothers and sisters, you would look at.
I started by saying that I'm not against the spillage.
The lesser evil.
I started by saying I'm not against the spillage, but this is like a doctor to whom we take a sick patient. When we take a sick patient to the doctor, instead of the doctor, the person has an infection. Ben, the person has an infection. He needs a treatment of antibiotics to deal with the infection. The doctor chose to be administering paracetamol until the infection got so deep that the person is on the point of death. And then he now starts administering a 7-day dose of antibiotics. On day 2, the patient dies. Who killed the patient? The doctor will tell you that yes, he administered antibiotics, but when that patient came 10 days ago, if you had administered the antibiotics, possibly you would have completed your 7-day dose, and that would have given the patient a better chance of survival. But you did not do that until 2 days till the person died. So if you start spilling at a certain point in time, and nobody's against the spillage, I've said that already. We need to protect the integrity of the dam, yes. But why didn't you start spilling earlier, given the projections and the calculations? The point on disaster management is that NADMO has been useless. Completely useless.
They complain about the fact that they simply don't have the resources to deal with it.
Exactly, because we've rendered NADMO useless. How much money do we give to NADMO? How much money do we give to NADMO? What preparedness? Look, you look at other jurisdictions. FEMA in the US. FEMA moves and responds with resources. And you are able to get.
I mean, there's no way you can justifiably expect NADMO to do anything without resources. They are handicapped.
And that's what I'm saying. It's a failure of government. That's why I said VRA is responsible. The central government is responsible. Because when this happened, we should have had immediate response for them.
Okay.
Do you know how many Mepe? 32,000 people at the last count were displaced. You know how many tents NADMO sent there? 3. Ekome. Three.
I know certain safe havens were created, but let's
school buildings blocks without doors and windows.
I get your point, but even as we talk about the problem, I want us to quickly talk about the MPP primaries before we end. What are your solutions?
Solutions for the MPP primaries?
For this entire bit we're talking about, the spillage and everything in between. You've mentioned dredging. What else do we do to forestall? I mean, it's happened.
No, I mean, now...
What do we do to forestall similar incidents?
Look, I've heard talks about, we want the water is receding, we are going to look at fumigating the buildings. Look, you can't live in those buildings. I have seen it. People's fecal matter was on the surface of the water. It stayed in people's houses for weeks. You can't expect human beings to go and live in those buildings. Government must have a proper resettlement plan. When the Apiati disaster happened, what did the government do? Government set up a fund and reached out to private sector to put money into it. And they built a new Apiati township. We need to build a new Mepe township. At the very least. Government must put its money where its mouth where its money is.
Brandon Champo announced $40 billion. We don't have the money, do we? IMF bailout, even the $600 million that we're anticipating. I mean, to be realistic, do we have the funds to do this? Do we?
The money that's going to be spent on the MPP primaries between Thursday and Saturday will build a new Mepe township. The money that's going to be paid to delegates of the MPP between Thursday night and Saturday when they will have their primaries will build a new Mepe township.
Do you have any evidence based on which you're saying?
I have seen an interview of Kennedy Japan's campaign manager.
That has been debunked by
where he says
the Bawumia campaign team.
Where he says where he says inducements are paid. And that's a fact. I have said it before. But the levels of inducement being paid by the Bawumia campaign and even by the Ken campaign, put it together. So when we say we don't have money, but Bawumia can find that money, where is he getting the money from?
But I'm telling you, the $800 million claim, I mean,
that
is absurd.
I haven't said $800 million.
That is absurd. And his campaign has debunked it.
I mean, $800 million.
As a country, we are getting how much from the IMF?
It sounds, yes. No, but when you consider that a Bola minister could have more than...
Sanitation and water resources.
Yes, but that's Bola.
Sanitation and water resources.
Sanitation and water resources, that deal with Bola and Zoomline. The minister responsible for that had enough money in her house that $1 million was stolen and she didn't recognize. Then the money that is there. Remember Sheikh Isikwe? The money is big, oh. This is the real, the money is big. So if Bola minister had this, then vice president there, chai.
All right.
Look, if you're not careful,
so the MPP,
the individuals in the MPP themselves are in a position to give the financial bailout you are taking from the IMF. The monies they've looted.
And your evidence is?
Well,
I'm merely asking you, where's your evidence?
We see them. We see their lifestyles. We see the things they're saying. And they themselves are saying it. You've heard Ken himself.
Do your colleague members of parliament, do they say these things?
Oh, we've heard
on that side, ministers.
We've had an MPP MP who is contesting for re-election saying that Onudie, he has dollars he's going to pay.
That I have.
Bibiani and Yanso Bekwa or something. Alfred Obeng, former boss MD. I don't know if that's his constituency. He's from the Western region there somewhere. He says he's waiting for anybody who will contest him. He knows they want to take him out. Whatever they will pay, he will pay more. He has dollars. He's packed the dollars. It's not me saying it. He's the one saying it. They are the one saying it. So this is not Sam George alluding. That's why not even people are going to because they are saying it. It's not my allegation. It's their own confession.
Since you've already started on that trajectory, just to cap off the conversation, the MPP primaries, both presidential and primary, Tija Kujo in Tepa Enyinesoso says ex-President Mahama has been leading in all polls because the MPP hasn't chosen its flag bearer yet. The polls will start to tilt toward Bawumia when he's chosen as the flag bearer. I'll leave it off here. The rest are acknowledgements and all of that. On November the 4th, the MPP will choose its presidential candidate, the flag bearer. Dr. Bawumia has said that he is the only one who can get the NDC quaking in its boots. He has said, as the Daily Guide newspaper captures today, you can bet on me. And the other contenders, while they've had their grievances, Dr. Ifri Akoto has had his grievances, Adainimo has had his grievances, Kennedy Japan has had his grievances. But the acknowledgement is that he is in pole position. He's in a comfortable lead to actually become flag bearer and lock horns with John Mahama. How do you react? And what do you make of all of this?
Let me just so that I am clear. That you can bet on me. Is it a direct quote or it is the stories, the newspaper's own couching? Is it a direct quote from
let me...
Because I see it's in the inverted commas. I want to be sure is it because I want to say something about that.
Well, I do see here his saying, to crown it all, I am the one the NDC fears the most, and with good reason. They know with me as candidate, they will not have a campaign message. I'll look for it to find out whether he actually
because
said
if he had said you can bet on
directly.
me directly, I'd have been asking myself, why? Now as a Muslim, betting is allowed.
Well, it says here that he has urged delegates to put their bet on him.
So he's promoting betting.
So
This is our vice president. Muslim by
but
day,
to bet
Muslim
on me,
by day, Christian by night.
to bet on me is figurative. It doesn't necessarily mean.
He's promoting betting.
means-
Continue. And then finish, go and call somebody malam. You know, but you see, no matter what it is that is said, or no matter how much, there's a saying that no matter the amount of milk, you know, or the amount of rain that is poured on a leopard, they won't lose the spots. We know Bawumia. In the words of his own wife, Samira Bawumia, we know him, we see him, and we can see the colossal failure he has been. How does anybody think that the man we made responsible for our economy and the management of our economy, that has tanked this economy, sent this economy into an IMF bailout program, the man who was sold to us as an economic whiz-kid, we were told he knows where the money is. President Kufuor brought him. You remember that soundbite by President Kufuor that he picked Bawumia because he was at the government Bank of Ghana. He knows where the money is. That's why he made the famous Yetisikano so and so come there. That man was brought in, and then the dollar he inherited at 4 cedis. That led Gabi to launch a hashtag Bring Back Our Cedi campaign. Now that dollar yesterday is trading at 12.1. 12.1. The man who was brought in at a time we're buying a gallon of fuel at 15 Ghana cedis. Today, we're buying a liter. It's dropped from the almost 17 cedis to about 13 cedis, 12 cedis thereabout. A liter. The man who came in when cement was 20 Ghana cedis. Today we are buying cement at 92 Ghana cedis under his watch. And they say that he's the Messiah.
But if you have all this,
all
this baggage on him, you should actually be rooting for him to be elected.
I want him to be elected though.
You do?
Oh yes. Like my own cousin, the MP for Botiano, Sylvester Tete. You know he used to be Alan's Greater Accra campaign manager before Alan transmogrified from an elephant to a butterfly. And Sly couldn't have the balls to also transmogrify to a butterfly. But when Sly was campaigning...
Such words, please.
Oh.
You can...
Elephant to butterfly, why?
No, the guts or something.
I said
not the B word.
Transmogrify.
No, the B word. That's what I am. Didn't have the...
You didn't have the potu. You like that one rather. To transmogrify from a elephant to butterfly. But when Sly was the Greater Accra campaign manager, he said something very telling. He said, if Bawumia is elected, all the NDC needs are cinema vans. Our campaign is done. We should just go and play all of Bawumia's lectures. I'll just come here, I'll come and buy airtime from you and play his lecture and ask what has changed. His 170 questions to the late Mr. Atta, I'll ask him. So me, I want Bawumia. I want Bawumia. You get it?
Do you think he will win?
Oh, the election is rigged for him. The kind of intimidation that's going on. MPs are being whipped. Chief executives are being whipped. They are threatening people. Oh. Anyway, I've always said that, look, the MPP is a classic mafia organization. Criminal organization mindset. And that is what they are doing.
You're referring to the ruling administration, the party that is governing this country.
They are criminal minded.
What is criminal about their activity?
In the mafia, when the Don speaks, his enforcers go and enforce it. Nanado has made it clear. His heir apparent who he wants is Bawumia. And now all his ministers, all his chief executives, all his MPs are running around as enforcers because the Don has spoken.
Yeah, but if the party has decided we want a specific candidate, does that make them criminal?
Is the party Nanado?
No, but does it make the party criminal?
Is the party Nanado?
Does that make the party criminal? That's
no. The criminality part is, for example, where they said party Hiansika. So they destroyed all our water bodies with Galamsey.
Galamsey existed before this party.
Not like this. Not like this. Before this government came into office, we all saw the River Pra and the River Densu. We saw those rivers. We knew what those rivers were like. They were not like this way chocolate drink. It is this government that has come in and created the mess that we see because party Hiansika. So when I say they're a criminally minded organization, they put our water safety at risk to enrich themselves. Typical clear example. So yeah, party here, the country can go to hell. Our water bodies can be destroyed with impunity.
Okay, so to cap off the conversation, I know what you're saying then is that come November the 4th, you are rooting for Dr. Mahamudu.
Oh, because that thing that they fix it is like a fixed match. This one is like a fixed match. It's Kokofu football they are playing. They are going to Mia Ken's neck. You know, they'll Mia Ken. And then we'll see. It's after November 4th we'll see the showdown. The showdown is not on November 4th. That one there, Ken is going into this fight with his two hands tied behind his back. All he has is with his leg to run around and they'll be punching him all over the place. You will see. They will deal with Ken. Baumia will win. He will win with like 70-something%. They've cooked the thing. They have the figures already. They will give him like 70-something, about 74-75%. That's what they will give to him. Then he will emerge.
I didn't know you were working with the Electoral Commission because they are going to be handling this. But apparently,
I'm
you have all the data.
Oh, we are showing you. It's the same. I have the results for 2024, Kara.
Hey,
I'm telling you. You think we're going to sit down for G-Mensa and MPP to cook figures like they did in 2020 and change the figures 6 times? Often where my name.
What does that mean?
We'll get to 2024, you see.
No, but why? This sounds like a threat. Why
is it a threat? It's not a threat. Did the MPP not declare results? Did Jean Mensa not change her results 6 times to match what the MPP declared? Okay,
I have to run, but this just came to mind on the back of what you said. Please, briefly. The talk about 25 new constituencies to be created has been debunked by the EC. They say it's only the Guan constituency they are going to create. But should there be, a move to create more constituencies?
Why?
What would you say to that?
It's absolute.
20 seconds.
Absolute bollocks. And look, yesterday they tried to fly that kite in Parliament and they realized that it won't fly. We are creating one, and that's what we are creating. We don't need to create 25 more constituencies. Look, people already complained about 275 MPs. We want to make it 300 MPs. And do you know that out of the 24 that were going to be created, 11 were going to be created in the Ashanti region? Alone? Why? They think that that's the way they will rig the election. Well, Mohammed, they should bring it.
Sam George is Member of Parliament for Ningo Prampram. He joined us for a conversation this morning. Mr. George, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Charlie, let's go and find some cocoa and drink and make some life for ourselves in this harsh economy. But Charlie, hope is coming. We'll build the Ghana we want together with John Mahama in 2025. Inshallah.
Well, thank you for staying. Up next, we talk health. As Dr. Tanya Trippett says, no child should be denied the cure of their cancer. But that is only if you find it early. A couple of weeks ago, we had a conversation on a philanthropist seeking to build a state-of-the-art, first-of-its-kind cancer treatment center in Ghana. Today, we'll bring you an update on that project and how much more we all can contribute to make it a success. That conversation up next on the AM Show. Do stay.